Top story. Russian authorities have arrested 11 people, including all 4 suspected gunmen, following the deadly attack at a concert hall near Moscow. At least 115 people were killed. Russian news reports said the 4 camouflage-clad gunmen stormed the venue and fired point blank at the hundreds of people who gathered for a rock concert. The attackers also set the concert hall on fire and caused the roof to partially collapse. The U.S. said it recently warned Russia about the threat of the Islamic State group attack targeting large gatherings in the Moscow area. Deborah Pata is following the latest developments just outside Russia's capital.
There was pandemonium and terror as armed men dressed in combat fatigues burst into Crocker City Hall on the outskirts of Moscow, opened fire and set the complex alight. The brazen attack took place as crowds gathered at the popular concert venue and shopping mall for a performance by a veteran Russian rock band. Videos posted on social media showed people screaming and ducking for cover as the gunmen fired volley after volley of automatic gunfire. The shots were constant, eyewitness Dave Primov said. People panicked and started to run. Some fell down and were trampled on. Others were trapped in a basement and escaped by bashing down an exit door. Another video shows the assailants moving with deadly intent through the mall, firing incessantly, often at point-blank range. The extent of horror made clear by the growing line of body bags.
The images are just horrible and just hard to watch, and our thoughts obviously are going to be with the victims of this terrible, terrible shooting attack.
The building was engulfed in flames, with smoke billowing from the massive blaze. Russia's equivalent of the FBI dispatched investigators to the scene. The U.S. Embassy recently warned about the threat of terrorist attacks in Moscow, advising Americans to stay away from concert venues, and the State Department says the intelligence was shared with Russia. For CBS.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The clip I just showed you was from CBS Saturday Morning News that came out about 10 hours ago, maybe a little more than that. And as you can see, something very chaotic happened in Russia, okay, during a concert, where supposedly some armed gunmen, terrorists, went into this concert venue, opened fire on just random people. Now, this morning when I caught wind of this, actually, it was last night, actually, I believe it was, that I caught wind of it. But when they showed the video, it just looked like a building was on fire. So to me, the headline just seemed a little strange. I thought that they were saying that there was an open fire in Russia in a concert venue, because it showed all the police department. This was live cam too. It was the live CCTV cameras that were running live, and I didn't see anybody running around. It was just nothing but police cruisers outside, fire departments, and the building was on fire. So I'm thinking, okay, wow, I hope everybody got out, or whatever the case was, what happened. But fast forward, earlier today, I started looking at headlines and stuff like that, and they said that it was a terrorist attack done by ISIS, ISIS-K, as a matter of fact, that they call it. And I'm thinking in my head, oh man, here we go. Okay, this is something that is, for lack of a better word, the shit's gonna hit the fan. Okay, lo and behold, I watched as many videos as I could before I left for work, and they're horrifying. I mean, just dead bodies all over the concert, all over. I mean, in the seats, these guys just opening fire, just mowing people down. And I'm looking at this like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, what is the purpose to this? What is the purpose to this? Like, what in the hell just happened in Russia that ISIS is going to coordinate an attack on innocent people. Okay. Now, before I continue with my thoughts and more video that I got, I just want to thank all my new subscribers and all my subscribers both on YouTube and on Rumble. So don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around, give it a thumbs up. If you want to help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App, my PayPal, and my merch store, TrueOutlawPatriot.com. So with that being said, I don't really do a lot of international news, okay? Especially something like this. I really haven't done anything, I mean, about like something on this magnitude. But it is just, it's been harping on me all day. Like, what has just happened? What has just happened? Okay? Because I'm trying to put the pieces together, and I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? I know that there has been conflicts with ISIS and Palestine, Hamas, and then they both have had talks and stuff like that. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, Hamas went out there and, you know, attacked back in October in a concert. All of a sudden ISIS is doing the same thing in Russia, and I'm thinking, like, what's the connection? I start looking through article after article, and all the way back to October, Vladimir Putin actually tried to intervene between Israel and Palestine in order to have play a role in like peace talks. Okay, so now I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, I wonder if ISIS is retaliating against Putin and Russia for that. Okay, because all you kept hearing this morning is just ISIS, 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 and I'm like, this is incredible. I mean, if this is true and this is what took place, it boggles my mind to think that if they're going after this man, well, I shouldn't say him, if they're going after Russians, civilians, because Russia is intervening, trying to get peace talks going on, like, what will, you know, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay. So, and before anybody thinks that I'm, you know, some Vladimir Putin sympathizer or anything like that, no. My thing is that I'm looking at all this with all the state of affairs going on with Russia and Ukraine going on, with Israel and Palestine, ISIS and Yemen attacking ships, and all this going on, but it doesn't make sense to me. You know, what will be the reasoning why, if ISIS is behind this, why did they go into Russia? I hope everybody can understand what it is I'm trying to say. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. Unless there's something going on behind the scenes that none of us know about between Russia and all that, then fine. Then, you know, I'm just as ignorant. But so now I'm looking through more video. There's not a lot of talk about this on the mainstream media, okay, and on YouTube, which I'm very surprised. I thought that the news feed on YouTube would just be flooded with video about what just took place in Russia. Well, I should say what has happened in Russia. Supposedly now, I believe they said the death toll's up to like 133 men, women, and children. Okay, attacked. But with that being said, I'm gonna show you guys the next clip of Vladimir Putin speaking. This was about 7 or 8 hours ago. Here we go.
All the 4 perpetrators were directly involved, who were gunning people down, killing people. They were found and apprehended. They tried to escape.
Now, before I continue real quick, just a quick side note. I don't speak Russian. I know I said here's what Vladimir Putin's saying. Basically, we got to take this, you know, the way it is, because obviously, unless any of you, my subscribers, speak Russian, and what they're saying here is not exactly what he's saying, let me know in the comments. If what the interpreter is saying is what Putin is saying, again, leave me a comment. Help bring some light to exactly what it is exactly that he's saying. But with that being said, let's continue.
They were moving towards the border with Ukraine. And we have data that suggests that they were about to be moved towards the territory of Ukraine by those in Ukraine. Fellow Russians, I come to you after this bloody, barbaric act of terrorism which claimed the lives of dozens of civilians, our countrymen, including children, teenagers, women. Many of them are in critical conditions and doctors are fighting for their lives. I'm confident that they will do everything in their hands to save the lives and health of everyone. I'd like to express a special gratitude to emergency services workers, to firefighters, to everyone who helped save people's lives.
Now, I just want to pause it for a second. I just want to point something out to everybody. You know, being born and raised in the streets, you learn how to read people as best you can, trying to understand people's expressions. Okay, I have a friend, very old friend, who always told me, he goes, you want to learn the truth from somebody, you look directly in their eyes when they're talking to you, when they're trying to explain something, when they're trying to get out of a lie, you know, whatever the case is. It doesn't have to be a lie. When they're trying to tell you the truth, look at their eyes. You know, I'm watching this video. I don't speak Russian, like I said, so I mean, for all I know, you know, Putin is reading off a grocery list. I don't know, but I'm looking at not his facial expression, I'm looking at his eye expression, his eyes and his eyebrows, his brow, and that is the look of some anger, okay, which tells me that this man is not going to tolerate what just happened in his country. And like I said, I'm not a Putin sympathizer, nothing like that, okay? Everybody knows me, I'm America first, plain and simple, okay? I think that, you know, there's innocent people all around the world in the middle of all kinds of conflicts, okay? But my main focus, me as an American, Native American, Latino, I am 100% America first. When I see this, though, I'm like, something doesn't add up, like I was saying before. Now that I look at his expressions as I start the video again, you can see in his eyes that there is anger in that look. Okay? But just wanted to throw that in real quick. Let's continue.
To get them out of the gunfire, out of the fire, out of harm's way, to make sure that as many people as possible can survive. And of course, I'd like to thank everyday citizens who helped out together with the emergency services. They helped people get to hospitals. We will help everyone, all families that faced this tragedy, those who were wounded, those who were hurt. And I'd like to express my deepest condolences to everyone who lost their loved ones. The entire country, the entire nation is in grief with you. The 24th of March will be the day of grief, the day of mourning. We have anti-terrorist measures introduced in Moscow and in Moscow region. What's critical right now is to make sure that those who are behind this bloodbath are not allowed to do so again. We will be investigating this terrorist attack, and we already have some results. All the 4 perpetrators were directly involved, who were gunning people down, killing people. They were found and apprehended. They tried to escape. They were moving towards the border with Ukraine. And we have data that suggests that they were about to be moved towards the territory of Ukraine by those in Ukraine. Our military services, our emergency services, our investigators are working on finding out the orchestrators of this terrorist attack, those who gave them transportation, who who gave them weapons, etc. The investigative authorities will do everything to identify all details of this crime, but it's already evident that we face not just a cynically organized terrorist attack, but a massive mass killing of civilians. These perpetrators, these criminals,
Let me just stop it again real quick. See, this is some of the video footage that I seen. Like I said, I believe it was last night or early this morning, when the headline said fire open. Basically what I said before, I got confused, thought that it was a fire at a concert venue, and that's why all the vehicles are out there, fire department trying to turn the fire out. And I'm thinking, you know what, something must have happened, must have been a big fire, a lot of people trapped. We've heard of stuff like this before, but I just didn't put two and two together until a couple of more reports came out, and then they started saying, oh, that there was a terrorist attack in Russia at a concert venue done by ISIS terrorists. But just wanted to reiterate on that. Let's continue.
Specifically to kill people point blank, our people, our children, just like the Nazis that once killed our people during the war. They do the same. All the orchestrators, all those who are responsible for this crime will inevitably be found responsible. They will pay. We will identify everyone who stands behind these terrorists, and they will pay. This is a strike against Russia. We know what terrorist threat means, and we expect that other nations that share our pain will cooperate with us, and we will stand united against this common enemy, international terrorism, no matter where it shows its ugly head. These terrorists have no nationality, and there's only one future for them: retribution and oblivion. Our duty right now, our common duty right now, is to stand together, to stand united, and I believe we will stand together. Nobody can divide us, can undermine our common strength, the strength of Russia's nation, or sow discord in our multinational society. Russia has faced a lot of challenges in its history, terrible challenges, but it always came out stronger, and this will be the same this time.
Okay, and I'm stopping right there. You can see it's the end. I do have one more video clip I want to show that really caught my attention right after all this, everything that he said. And it's sad. Okay, so there's a lot that's being unraveled, but supposedly the first news clip said I believe they said they caught 11 people, but that news video and this one say that 4. So I'm assuming out of the 11, 4 of them are the ones that they're gonna wind up interrogating. What caught my attention even more, that bothered me, was that they said that they caught them trying to get back over to Ukraine. Now this is for me where all the red flags start flying, and this is where I have to put my 2 cents in, and I think a lot of people also will once I show the next clip that came out about 2 hours ago, 2 or 3 hours ago. I'm gonna play that. It's a short clip, and we'll take it from there, people. Here we go. Okay, I stand a little corrected. This came out, well, now it makes it makes it that it came out 4 hours ago. Pay attention.
Нет. Да.
Что в Турции делал?
Там... Нет.
Нет?
Да.
Что в Турции делал?
Там...
You read this, people? It says Russian media points out U.S. media said ISIS before arrests were made. That's what they were saying since early this morning, like I said. Yeah, let's continue. It says, and it immediately becomes obvious why American media shouted in unison that it was ISIS yesterday. Because this is not ISIS. It's just that the actors were selected in such a way that they could convince the stupid part of the global community that it was ISIS, she added. Wow. Here we go. It says this is not ISIS, this is a well-coordinated team of several other, also widely known abbreviations. Now, you know, in a time like this, on every side, this could all be propaganda, okay? What, man, this one's tough. This one's really, really tough. You know, with everything that's going on with Russia and Ukraine and how America keeps backing up Zelensky in Ukraine, I pray to God in heaven above, okay? I pray to God that this had nothing to do with any American intelligence being involved. Okay? And I say that as a true blue American that loves this country with all my heart. I love God first. I love this country, my family. And there has been so much chaos going on that this has to make everybody wonder who exactly was involved in this. And all I'm saying is that if I'll say it again, if that is the case, that victims will and their families will understand that the American people do not and would not have condoned something like this. But let's continue. Now this right here says fake rumors ISIS claim responsibility for terrorist attack are unfounded. The widely shared image of what alleges to be a statement by the group taking responsibility for the incident uses a news template that ISIS apparently abandoned many years ago. But Middle Eastern media claims template used was abandoned by ISIS years ago. Now listen, I want to say one more thing before anybody wants to be in an uproar or whatever. I am not for ISIS. I am not for Hamas. I am not for communism. I'm not for Ukraine. I'm not for Russia. I am for America 100%. I'm not trying to take away from innocent people that are in the crossfire of all this chaos. I'm not saying that. Innocent blood is innocent blood. Plain and simple. Okay? What I'm saying is that, like I said, I pray to God, okay, that if this is all propaganda from Putin and his side and whatever the case is, then all this propaganda needs to be cleaned up. If there's any truth to all of this, I'm at a loss for words. I truly am, but let's continue.
Да,
Что в Турции делал?
там ради документов.
From breaking news, detailed.
Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. That's the end of it. People, whatever the case is, first things first. I pray the truth will come out. Okay? That's the way it's got to be. It's the way it's got to be. And more, and I have to bring it back to America. More and more truth is coming out of all the chaos that's being implemented by the powers that be. At our border, in the streets, in the schools, in the neighborhoods, in the communities, in the cities, in the states. Okay? We have enough problems as it is. And we all know and understand that there is conflict between Russia and Ukraine. There is conflict between Israel and Palestine. There is a lot going on. The last thing this world needs is for some entity to come in. If it is, in fact, ISIS, that's the last thing that needs to be thrown in the mix. If it's not, and it turns out to be something else, that it was something that was coordinated and perpetrated, man, oh man, this is definitely the last thing this world needs. And this is definitely the last thing the American people need. Okay? This is the last thing that innocent people need. Okay? It just... This is weighing really heavy on me, people. I'm sorry. This is just... It doesn't make sense, and I'm gonna stick to that. From what I'm saying, that why would ISIS go and carry out this attack? And I'm gonna stick with that, because just holding on to that will open up more doors, because more information is going to come out, and then we'll all be able to put all the pieces together. Okay? This is from what but from what I see right now, this is not good. This is not good. And this is actually a very scary precedent that has taken place. Okay? Now, if like I said, if this was all perpetrated by Ukraine, not that it makes it understandable, but during war, it makes it understandable that they decided to go in and try to retaliate in whichever way they thought, because they're in a beef right now with Russia. Okay? But then you have to ask the question, if that's the case, why is the US still trying to pump money into Ukraine, and or will the US keep backing Ukraine up? Because I'll tell you one thing right now, if this was all Ukraine, okay, I for one, as an American taxpayer, I cast my vote to stop funding Ukraine right this second. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not a Putin sympathizer, I'm not a communist sympathizer, nothing like that. Nothing like that. But if they're going to be doing stuff like this, and I know people are going to say, oh, well, you know what? Then what about Israel? What about Palestine? Not talking about that. Not talking about that. We're talking about this right here. Okay? We're talking about this right here, because from day one, all of this could have been avoided between Russia and Ukraine, Israel and Palestine. From day one. From day one. And everybody knows what I'm talking about. Okay? Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Pass the channel around. If you want to help support the channel, I'll leave a link in my description to my Cash App and PayPal, and to my merch store, TrueOutlawPatriot.com. Just one more thing to all my patriots, all the patriots of America. Just remember, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, and keep praying for this country. Peace.